We are somehow already in week 4, so it's time to talk about the Chicago Bears' next opponent on the schedule, and that is the LA Rams. So let's talk about this, people. Bears versus Rams. Give you guys my preview and prediction with a final score at the end, so stick around for that. So what is going on, y'all? Faiz Sports all back at it with another video talking some NFL here to talk about the Chicago Bears. So if you're a Bears fan, guys, hit that subscribe button down below if you haven't already. What are you waiting on? Do it, all right? So with that being said, let's give you guys my preview for this game. I'm excited. We'll hop into it. Let's go. As we always do, let's start with the numbers here. So the Chicago Bears are taking on the Rams at home in Soldier Field, and they are 2.5-point favorites in this one. The over-under is set to 40.5, so a fairly low total, which I don't necessarily agree with, but we'll get to that. And yeah, the Bears are favored in this game by almost 3 points, 2.5. So and that makes sense because the Rams obviously have not been healthy. They are still not healthy. They're missing their key guys, which I'll talk about here. And they're 1-2 on the year, the same record as the Chicago Bears. But the Bears have lost some winnable games. You know, the Rams are winning games that they shouldn't be winning, right? They should be 0-3. So let's talk about the Rams here real quick. So 1-2 on the year, coming off an incredibly impressive victory over the 49ers. I know the 49ers were depleted as well, but the Rams are certainly the worst, if that's a word, roster, and they should not have won that game against the 49ers, and they did. And credit to Matthew Stafford and Sean McVay, who's my favorite coach in the NFL. Like, they got that done, and they won on a last-second field goal. Man, coaching matters so much in this league, even when you don't have all your guys, especially when you don't have all your guys. So, yeah, man, the Rams should be 0-3, but they're 1-2 on the year. And talking about their key players being out, for this game specifically, they're not going to have Cooper Kupp still. They're not going to have Puka Nacua, so their top 2 wide receivers are not going to be available for them in this game against the Bears. So their main receiver set is basically Demarcus Robinson, Tutu Atwell, Tyler Johnson, Jordan Whittington. So it's just a cast of misfits here, a bunch of wide receiver threes that they're running out with, but you still have Matthew Stafford, who is, still very solid, and you have Sean McVay. So you can't take this opponent lightly, especially when they just beat the 49ers. Again, like I said, in the game they should have lost. So definitely not trying to take the Rams easy here. This could even be a trap game. So talking about the Bears here on the injury front real quick. So Keenan Allen could potentially be back this week. We'll see, right, leading up to the game on the Friday injury practice report. And then Darnell Wright is dealing with the back injuries, considered day-to-day. We'll see if he misses or not. That would be a huge loss for the Bears. So that is essentially on the injury front for both teams. Now, let's hop into the matchup itself. So when I'm looking at this matchup for the Chicago Bears, I want to start with the fact that the Rams defense this year has been a joke. I mean, this is the worst defense in football statistically. 32nd overall is what they're ranked, folks. They're just bad everywhere. So usually I try to highlight, hey, this team's a pass funnel, this team's a run funnel, you can attack this team in this way or that way. The Rams are just bad everywhere. You can literally do whatever you want against this defense, and teams literally have. In week 1, the Lions ran all over them. David Montgomery, 17 carries for 91 yards and a touchdown. Jameson Williams had a huge game, 121 receiving yards on 5 catches. And then in week 2, Kyler Murray might have had the best game of his career, all right? 266 passing yards, 3 passing touchdowns. Marvin Harrison Jr. had an incredible game with 2 touchdowns and over 130 receiving yards. James Conner ran all over them on the ground as well, 21 for 122. And then just this last week, Brock Purdy, 3 touchdowns, no picks, almost 300 passing yards. Jawan Jennings, career game for him with 175 receiving yards and 3 touchdowns. I mean, everybody eats against this Rams defense. They're a joke, all right? They're a joke. So the Chicago Bears should be able to do whatever they want. The offense for the Bears should be able to do whatever they want against this Rams non-existent defense. So the first key is going to be, let this be the Caleb Williams show. All right. Last week, the Colts had a clear weakness in the run game, and so I wanted the Bears to focus on that. And even though we don't have a top tier running back, right, we have a weak running game, I still wanted them to see if we can attack that weakness, and we failed at it. Well, this week, if we're going ahead and attacking this defense with our best weapon, that's Caleb Williams slinging the football. So let this be the Caleb Williams show. I want Caleb at his best in terms of the coaching staff putting him in positions where he's at his best. I want a lot of play action in this one. All right, I want a lot of play action. He had some great throws out of play action. Let's get Caleb a little bit more on the move here. Let's get guys more in motion. If Keenan Allen's back for this game, that's going to be incredible. But yeah, man, it should be Caleb getting the football in the hands of his best playmakers. So a ton of DJ Moore, a ton of Rome Odunze, hopefully Keenan Allen, Cole Kmet. Let's just go ahead and let it rip. Let it rip with Caleb Williams. Like, there's no reason Caleb shouldn't have another 300-yard game. He should be able to get 3 touchdowns here. Like, I'm not focused on the ground game, but if you ask me, right, what I would do in the ground game, I'm promoting Roschon Johnson to RB1 this week. I'm demoting DeAndre Swift, and I'm letting Roschon run downhill when we need to, right? So I'm not saying go 100% pass here, but certainly heavier on the pass and the run. But when you are feeding the run, let's go ahead and feed Roschon. Put it in his belly and let him get downhill. And he's a guy, even when he gets tackled, he falls forward. He doesn't lose you yardage like DeAndre Swift, so I like that. So overall, folks, we should just be able to do whatever we want against this team. So I want the ball in the hands of Caleb Williams and let it rip. As far as defensively, this is what worries me about this game is I'm fairly confident we'll be able to put up points, but can we stop the Rams? And that seems funny that I'm saying that even when they're missing their top 2 weapons, and that's because I feel like Sean McVay is just an incredible coach. He's a top 3 coach in the NFL, and I feel like he's going to find ways to scheme this offense to, put up points like he did last week. So what I'm afraid of is actually not Matthew Stafford. I'm afraid of Kyren Williams. Kyren Williams scares me, and I want the Bears defense to focus on stopping Kyren Williams here. He had last week 24 carries for almost 90 rushing yards and 2 touchdowns on the ground, and then he also caught a touchdown. So he was the best player for the Rams last week, and he was the main reason they won. Kyren Williams could run all over us, similar to what Jonathan Taylor did. And that's how we lose this football game, because the Rams play clock control with Kyren, and they're able to go ahead and just bleed all this time. They're able to milk the clock, and they're able to score touchdowns with these long extended drives, keep Caleb Williams off the field, and, eke out a low-scoring win. Like, that's how they do it if they do it. That's why we need to stop Kyren Williams. Let's get a focus on stopping that. I am not worried about these weapons on the outside that Matthew Stafford has. Yeah, Stafford's still really good. He's obviously somebody you got to respect. But if Tutu Atwell beats me, if Demarcus Robinson beats me, if Tyler Johnson beats me, so be it. So be it. I'll take it. I'll tip my cap to them, and that's what it is. But I am not letting Kyren Williams go off for 100 rushing yards and 2 touchdowns. I'm just not doing it. So the focus, please, let it be Matt Eberflus on Kyren Williams and stopping the rushing attack for the LA Rams. Overall, folks, I think this is a very winnable game for the Chicago Bears. Like, they should be able to get the job done here against a compromised Rams team, especially at home, especially with how weak the defense has been. So Caleb Williams should have a very solid game. I'm expecting him to have his best game so far, even better maybe than the Colts game. Maybe not yardage-wise, but certainly overall as far as an efficiency standpoint. So that's where I feel like the Chicago Bears can get this done. I have them winning this game by a final score of 24-14. So I do think we shut down the Rams team and their offense, and we put up some points here and get a dub at home and move on and go to 2-2 on the year. So let me know what you guys think about that. Who do you have winning this game? Leave a comment down below with your thoughts. As always, thanks for watching.